option.
Okay, so maybe we can continue that way. So if you can share it with people later.
So recording has started. Recording has started.
Okay, that's great then. Started, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then we can probably start. That's great. So okay, so let's start now. So forward price, agreed upon price in a forward contract is called a forward price, right? So this is just technical information that we are using, we're talking, so that's what is given there. But by now we should be clear with what we're talking as in spot price, spot date, right? So forward price is the price that you agree in the contract in the beginning of the contract, that is a forward price. Spot price is the same price, same day price or the current price, that is called spot price. Spot date is the settlement date for a transaction, that is your same current date, spot date you can call, or so that would be the settlement date for a transaction. So
The
okay,
spot date and the settlement date are same.
no, spot date would be as an in terms of if it is the same day trade, then you would be saying the spot date is equal to settlement date, same day when it is. Otherwise
Okay.
settlement date or the value date can be same value, we can say value date, we can say settlement date, both means same in Indian investment banking term. But spot date will not always be settlement date, it is only when it is the same day or it is a fx trade of 2 days. So then you can say spot date is settlement date, wherein the settlement date is either the same day or it is within t+2 date, then it
Okay.
can be spot date, right? So okay, profit, how do you determine profit and loss? So this is a formula given here, but you do not need to rely on this formula because it's a basic understanding that you already have how you're going to make profit and loss in case of forward contract. So the spot price on the expiry date of contract and the forward price agreed at the time of the contract, right? So this is this, should the spot price be higher or it should be less when
It should be higher.
it should be higher, right? Correct? Or
Yes.
yeah, so that is how you're going to make profit. Spot price on the expiry date of contract minus the forward price agreed at the time of signing the contract, that is when you're going to make profit. If this is not higher, then that means you are making loss on your position. And this is from the point of view short or long. This formula is, how do you see, is it from the point of view long position or from the short position?
Spot price for the long position, sir.
Yes, from the long position point of view, this will work. But and if you look at from the short position, it will be the other way around.
A loss.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
will be loss, or it should either it should be forward price minus spot price. That is
Hmm.
how you would be making the profit if it is the short position. Okay, so this is an example given here. The contract value is 300 shares. Rupees 300 is the share price, and the contract, the lot size is 100 shares. So it is this. There is a seller, there is a buyer, and then how would you determine the profit and loss? This is with an example given. Spot price is 305, right, and the forward price is 300. So 300 minus 305 is the, this is loss.
Loss for the seller.
Yeah, this is a loss for the seller, 500 rupees loss on the whole lot. Similarly for the long position, because the spot price is higher than the forward price, so this is a profit for the long position, that is given with the arrow, green arrow shown there. It's a profit, and the red arrow shows the loss. Okay, so similarly from the short position point of view, like you can see the forward price is the forward spot price is 295 and the forward price was 300 agreed in the contract in the beginning. So now you can clearly see that it is profit for your short seller, right? So 500 rupees profit, which is shown with the help of this arrow. And similarly, yeah, yeah, you maybe if you can, as an guys, if you can mute, because your question is not coming properly to me. Your voice is also quite low. If you can just increase the volume. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead now.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead
So
now.
now,
Now,
now it's okay. So, sir, in this case, the spot price is 295 rupees
yeah,
and the future price is 300.
right.
So, in a short position,
Yes.
they are selling these shares at 295 and
Yeah.
purchasing it at a 300.
No. So the forward price agreed, right? So that is 300. The forward price agreed in the contract, and when you agree this price in the beginning of the contract itself, this is a fixed one. You can say this price is fixed in the contract. This price can't be fixed because this depends upon the market only. So market can behave either way. It can go above 300 also. It can remain below 300 also at the day of expiry. So when the expiry takes place, so either it can be below 300 or it can be above 300. So we have taken two situations. When it is above 300 and when this is below 300. So because you can't change this price, this is agreed in the contract in the beginning only. So this will remain constant as we know, right? So if the situation is this, when the spot price, the current price of the share is 295. So we are looking from seller point of view and the buyer point of view. From both the point of view, you are looking. So if this is a situation, so that means the seller is making profit, right? Because seller wants the price of a security to remain low than what he is selling at. So if he has already agreed to sell it at 300 and the price remains 295, so that means it's a profitable situation for seller. And on the other hand, for the buyer would like the price to go up. Like if you buy a stock for 100 rupees, what would be your thought, or what you would like? You would like the share to move up, right? So if it goes to 105, 110, 115, whatever the number beyond 100, that would be favorable to you from the long point of view, right? Similarly, the same thing is happening here also. From the short point of view, a seller would like this number, this price, current price should be lower than the agreed price. So that is how he would be able to make profit. So when it is 295, so there is a profit of 5,000 because 5 rupee difference is there, multiply by lot, so it comes out to 500. Hope it is making sense.
Sir, but spot price is the price at which they have first decided. Spot price is the current price of the particular share.
Yes, spot price is the current price of the share.
So,
Yeah.
current price of the share. So,
Yeah.
current price is 295.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
At rupees 295, he is selling his shares.
No.
And
He's going to
oh,
sell at 100 rupees, 300 rupees, right?
okay.
Right. So he's going to sell it at
But
300.
sir, in a short position,
Mm-hmm.
short position means they are selling the first.
Yeah.
And in the starting of the contract, when there is a spot price, when we take example of ITC company, then
Mm-hmm.
the spot price is 205 and the
Okay.
future price is 207. Okay.
Yeah.
So on that particular point of time, we take the long position, and the
Yes.
long position, the buyer is selling this stake at 220 or above.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of profit situation. But if we reverse the situation, that
Mm-hmm.
we first sell the shares. Okay, we sell at 205, that is the spot price, and purchase it at 220.
Yeah.
So then this is a loss to the buyer. So how
Yes.
it comes to be the profit in this
No.
scenario?
So this is a loss to the buyer here also. So here, as in this, if you look at here, the long position is the buyer, right? So buyer is incurring loss here for sure. Buyer is incurring loss, but who is making profit? The seller is making profit. So this thing we are looking, the 5,000 rupees is a profit for seller, not for buyer. So the example which you quoted, right? So it's the same one only. So if you look at here, the buyer is still making loss. Buyer is not making profit because buyer has agreed to buy at buyer has agreed and thought like it will be going beyond 300, which did not happen, right? So he would be making a loss of 5,000. So looks there is some confusion. So let's take this example from this one only, from case one, then we'll move to the case two. Then it would be better. So if you look at this one, right? So price of the share, the current price is 300 rupees. This is clear, right? And the contract size is
Yes, sir.
1,000. So total value comes out to be 3 lakh rupees. And there is one seller, one buyer
Okay.
we can see in the contract. That is a normal scenario, normal trade that we know. Date is 1st of August. That is when the trade is taking place. Now we move on to the date 29th of August when the trade is going to expire. Now the
Okay.
first situation is the spot price. That means the spot which was 300 one point in time when we took this trade in the beginning, it was 300 rupees, right, on 1st of August. Now on 29th of August, which we assume is the expiry date of the month, and then the share price comes out to 305. So that means the spot price, you can say, when I say the current price is 305, the spot price you can say becomes 305. So now we need to
Okay.
analyze the situation, if who is making profit, who is making loss. So we can say long position is a buyer's position, short position is a seller's position, as we know, right? So when the spot
Yes.
price is higher than the forward price, forward is the agreed price in the contract, So look at from first, let's analyze from the long position, because this is the, as in we go long first, then short later. So if you're long,
Okay.
you are the buyer, and you had agreed at 300 as a price in the contract. If it becomes 300, 305, so it's a profitable situation for you, right or wrong? Because the price has gone
Yes,
up
sir.
in the market. You can buy at 300, right, as per the contract. You can buy at 300, sell at 305 in the market. So that way you can make a profit of 500 rupees directly. And now let's look at
Okay.
from the short point of view. So you had agreed to sell it at 300 rupees, right? You as a
Yes, sir.
seller has agreed to sell the same contract at 300 rupees from day one, the beginning date, that 1st of August. Now the price has gone to 305. So that means if you see from your point of view, you are going to make a loss of 500, well, 5,000, not
Oh,
500, 5,000. So if you want to sell, so let's, if you want to sell the same contract, you will have to buy at 305 from the market, and you will have to sell it at 300 rupees. That's the contract you've done, right? So that way you
okay.
will have to be, you will be bearing a loss of 5,000 rupees. So first, let's be clear with this example. I'm sure like now you're clear with this one.
Yes, sir. Now it is
Right.
clear.
And similarly, if you move to the second example, right, so it's the same thing which you have done here also. The agreed price remains same, that's the 300 rupees. So you are going to either buy or sell at 300. Now the situation is the spot price we have made different. We have changed the spot price, which was 305 earlier. Now it becomes 295. So if you look at from this, from the point of view of some long position, right? So you were expecting the price to move up, and thereby you were going to make a profit, but it did not happen in this case. So if it remains below 295, so it is not going to make any profit, because you are now need to buy at 300, which is available in market at 295, right? You are buying something for 300, which in market is available for 295. That means you're making a loss of 5 rupees on one item, and on the contract price you're making a total loss of 5,000 rupees. So that is with the long position, because now you will have to buy. You cannot say, you cannot run away from your obligation. No, you're not going to buy it. You will still have to buy at 300 rupees, and if you want to sell in the market, you will have to sell it at 295. That means you are incurring a loss of 5 rupees on this calculation basis, and the net loss comes out to be 300 to 5,000 rupees. Look at from the short position view. The short position, as a seller has agreed to sell at 300 rupees, right? And if I sell you on 300 rupees, so what I can do from the market, I can buy right at this moment, right at this moment, that is 29th of August, I can buy the same stock at 295 and can sell you at 300 rupees, because you have agreed in the first place to buy it at 300 rupees, right? So it's a net profit, 5 rupees profit to me with this thing. Confusion here with the short position?
No, sir. It's clear.
No, sir.
Clear, right?
It's
So
clear.
let's move on. So third case, when the spot and forward remains equal, that's very simple. if it is spot price is equal to this forward price, so there is no loss, there is no profit. So that is how is shown there for the short position and the long position, both have got no loss, no gain, right? So risk in forwards, liquidity risk is there, credit risk is there, less regulation is there. So these are the, when you say liquidity risk, so it is very simply written there, difficult to resell. So we know why we're saying the forward market is not that liquid, because forward contracts are designed keeping in mind the customization of the clients. So if there is no client available to buy it once it is sold to first client, so there would be challenges in managing the liquidity of the contract for sure in the forward market. Credit risk, again credit risk is the default risk, you can say. So credit, wherein you have a credit from the counterparty, and counterparty is not obligating with its credit to you. So that's the risk that you are having in the forwards market, and given this is a less regulated market, so this is the reason this risk is amplified in this market, right? So there is no such regulation in the market. It is just a market. This market is being governed or being guided by a body called ISDA. ISDA stands for International Swaps and Derivative Association. So ISDA is the body which is guiding this, governing this OTC derivative market. But as such, there is no regulator who is regulating this market. So that is the challenges which OTC derivative market has got, right? Futures contract, so legally binding agreement to buy or sell a commodity or financial instrument in a designated future month at a price agreed upon at the initiation of the contract by the buyer and seller. Futures contract are standardized according to the quality, quantity, and delivery time and location for each commodity, right? So it is very same like the forward one that we have done. The only concept of margin is actually comes into picture when you are dealing with the futures contract. However, that is not the case when you're doing the forward. As we discussed, there is no advance payment involved for forwards contract. So that is not the case with futures. Otherwise, if you look at from the technical point of view, how the trade happens on ground, it is largely the same. The way it happens, there is two parties, both are obligated. So both party need to fulfill the obligation of buy and sell at the end of the maturity. So this is how this futures contract is also operated. Okay, so highly leveraged investment is a paper investment, generates quick money, offers a fair deal, offers liquidity, minimal commission charges. Okay,
So,
so
what is paper investment?
paper investment is in a sense wherein it is kind of a documented thing. So
Okay.
it is a documented thing. So you cannot run away from the obligation. You will have to oblige the counterparty. So once you take part into the trade, so that can't happen. So that is how it is a regulated one. You can say that is how paper investment is there.
Okay.
Right. So okay, let's anything which is not clear. Highly leverage. You understand what the
No, it's clear, sir. It's okay.
unlimited risk involved in future is unlimited profit and loss. So that is one, that loss and profit is unlimited. And market risk is there, daily settlement is there, leverage losses are there, policy risk is there. So these are the features of, or you can say risk of trading in futures. Anything not clear here? Market risk, you understand.
So
Policy
could you
risk,
please explain, like in brief, all the points, whatever is there, so that
yeah,
I can write them down.
sure, no worries. So when you say unlimited profit and loss, like let's take an example of the same one that we discussed yesterday. Give me a second. Let me just share my Excel file with you. Where is that?
But
Okay,
sir,
no
how we
worries.
said that there's an unlimited risk? as you
Yeah.
mentioned in the last example, that there is limited risk limited to the premium. Suppose if the share goes above 220, then they have to pay the premium of 3 rupees per share. So
Okay. No, but
where the
that
risk
is
is
that,
limited.
I guess that is for option we talked about, right? But this is from the future point of view. This is the future one, right? So if you look at this example here, the spot price is 205, and there is you buy it for 207, right? Right? And
Mhm.
so technically, if you look at from the point of view of a share, and you know the share price can go to any limit. You can't say it will only go 300, it will go 350, it can go to any number, right? So this is the technical understanding, or you can say the how we perceive to share or perceive the value of the share. It can either go to 300 or it may also go down to any number, maybe to zero also, but at max zero, not below zero. Right? The share value can become zero, but not below. But that is also sort of an unlimited kind of thing. So if the share value is 5,000, going below to zero makes a unlimited loss sort of thing. Though I'll not say it is unlimited. It's defined one, but it is kind of an unlimited. So that is why the unlimited profit and loss is written. So your profit can be anything. If the share price goes up, like it becomes 300, so this will also become 300 too, right or wrong?
So can you repeat?
Yeah, sure. So like the example these will be taking from the futures point of view. So if you
Mhm.
say your spot price or this share becomes 300 rupees, right?
Okay.
So then your future price will also be 302 rupees,
Okay.
right? It is going in the upside direction, and
Yeah.
you don't know
Yes,
it
sir.
can also become 500. If it becomes 500, this will also become 500 too.
Okay. Yeah.
Proportionally, it
Yes,
will
sir.
be rising. So if it becomes
Mhm.
1500, it will also become 1500 too, right?
Mhm.
So similarly, it is moving as in you see there is no limit. There is no
Mhm.
limit you can say define like this will go only up till 500 or number. You can't give a number. So as an that is as in we are in we understand it is not the reality on ground, but when you want to say how this works, you are actually talking principally. You're not saying you understand ITC can't go 300 in a month's time. That's very hypothetical assumption that we are making. But in a normal sense, if you talk about how a stock behaves, we are talking the behavior of a stock. When we say unlimited loss and profit, we are basically talking the behavior of the particular asset. So if you say stock can move to any limit, right? So if that's the case, so your profit can be unlimited, right or wrong?
Mhm.
Similarly, your loss can also be unlimited. So there is a if you talk about this person who is buying this share, there would be another party who would be selling also,
Yeah.
right? So if a party is selling, so that party can bear unlimited loss if it goes to maybe 5,002. So now you imagine there was a 205 was 205 to this, right? Now you can make out what loss you are incurring as in the whole. That's a huge loss,
Yes.
right? It's a huge loss. 4797 multiplied by 32. 4797 multiplied by 3200. This is the loss that the other party is incurring. I'm really as in amplifying it, but the reason I'm amplifying because so that you understand the unlimited thing that we're talking here.
Mhm.
The unlimited
Yeah.
thing is this is how the unlimited thing is there, right? So there is two party involved in every trade. So if you see it's a profit for this party, so there is another party which is going to bear the loss also, and that loss can be unlimited for that party. It can be an unlimited profit for you, right? So that is how it is. I hope it makes sense.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But sir, you told me about the premium. So the concept is an option strategy, option contract.
Yeah. That's an option that we talk here. The premium thing. You see this premium.
Yes, sir.
So this we talked here in premium thing. Premium is applicable only for option because option as a word says option. You have an option. So one party has got an option, another party has got an obligation. So the party
Okay.
party having option will have to pay premium. because that's the reason you are availing option. Option comes on the back of the premium only, and the obligation comes because of the premium. Another party is going to obligate you. However, if you look at from the future point of view, both the party are obligated. Both the party, be it a buyer or be it the short, both party are obligated. Once you take position, whichever direction you are into, either you can go into short mode or you can go into long mode, right? So if you're long, then also you're obligated. If you're short, then also you're obligated. You cannot run away. You can't say now because I'm losing, I will not obligate. You will have to obligate. Here, this is not the case. If you have taken an option, you paid a premium. If you think the trade is not favorable to you, you say goodbye. You say I'm not going to execute this trade because it's not making sense to me. It's not meaningful to me. And if something is not meaningful, why would you execute? Because you are paid premium for this right only. This right is what you are trying to avail with the help of this option that you have taken. So it can be call option, it can be put option, whichever way you think of. But this right is what you are focused on when you take part in options. Right. So we'll talk about option later because we have a dedicated presentation on option. Because yesterday it was just a part of the option that we did as in the definition and all. But tomorrow, as in today, we are supposed to cover more on the options and all. So we'll do once we are done with this. So hope the unlimited part is clear, right? When we talk about
Yes, sir.
unlimited.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
okay, fine. So then daily settlement, so the settlement can happen, though it is not daily, but if you talk about the maturity of the option futures, it is always on the third Friday. But if you look at from the liquidity point of view, you can buy today, you can sell the next moment, right? Or you can sell any moment. That way the settlement is very quick, right? So that is how the settlement is given there. Okay, so that is how this daily settlement is mentioned there. However, the futures does not involve daily settlement. It is your monthly or bi-monthly, and then the quarterly settlement is there on the last Thursday of the month. But given when you buy a trade, long position when you make, then the very next moment you can make in a short position and close your position. So it means settlement can take place the very same moment. You can make your profit, you can book your loss, whichever way you want to think, and you can close the position that you've taken. The example that we discussed yesterday, there was some question coming from one of you only. You asked like how soon you can exit. So I said like you can exit futures contract at any moment when you feel it is good for you. So when you buy it, the next moment you can close it when you think it is profitable, or when you think it is no point sticking to the contract because it can incur a lot of losses to you. So maybe you want to book your loss and move out of the contract. So that's an option available in futures, not in forward, because forward does not have that level of liquidity. Okay. So market risk, you understand what when we talk about market risk, because we already talked about market risk yesterday also. I'm not going to explain. It is about interest risk that is there, and then the risk pertaining to a company is there, right? The company is not doing good, company result is not good, company CEO has been removed, or company has brought new CEO, or new board of directors. All these things related to the market risk, and also particular company, you can say. But market risk in a large sense would be your interest rate risk, right? And the big events which are going to come, they are directly going to impact the market, and something which is directly impacting is largely clubbed into market risk. So it can be your elections, it can be your as in this current situation, which is the COVID situation. This is also market risk, right? And if there is any natural calamity, that's also a market risk. So this all kind of a risk will be clubbed in the market risk, so which can impact the market, which can cause problem for the financial market. So that would be called market risk. And leverage losses, because if you have taken your position on leverage, or when future give you an option of leverage, so there could be a losses in your leverage positions, and losses can be that big, wherein you can lose your margin amount, and on top of that you would have to pay more to the margin amount. So that is also possible. So that I'll explain with an example on the subsequent slide. Policy is from the point of view the policy designed by the current as in the policy designed by the given country. So there could be a favorable policies for a particular market. There could be a tightened policies for a particular country, if there are tightened policy which are saying now you're going to increase taxes, right? You're going to increase taxes, like say the taxes which are in the current scenario is quite low, and the country the government says now the taxes should be higher. So it's a kind of a policy risk. So if there is a policy change happening, so that can incur more expenses, more problems, more challenges to the current environment of trading. So that will be put into policy risk. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, but I didn't get the risk involved in daily settlement. How it is a risk? Could you please just explain it with the example, another example, so that I can understand that?
Daily settlement, like uh, so risk daily settlement, when you talk about from the point of view, like you have, there is no risk, I would say. It's a feature which is available in the futures market, which can be a good or bad for you, looking at how you view a particular stock. Let's take this example that we were talking earlier. So if you see this one, right, uh, so when you say you have this stock trading at 205, right, and you see this futures price is 207, right? Lot size is already given there. So this feature is there wherein you can close the position, and you see uh, you can do this settlement today. You can also settle your trade tomorrow by closing it. So it's not a risk, I would say. It's a feature which is available there, but it can be a risk for some of the people who are having a view for a month, not for a day. If you are a viewer for a whole month, like you think, uh, if this if you trade for an entire month, as in the maturity takes place at the last day of the month, then you would be in a favorable position, because you have done your analysis, you have done your you have gone through your findings, and you believe if this stock is traded until 27th of May, it is going to work in your favor, right? However, for between those days, it can fluctuate. The share can move up, it can go down also, right? So if it goes up, so assume it is 212, right? So this price will go up and it becomes 15 215, right? So this is on a day basis, but your assumption on the month end is this will remain at 210. So that could be a risk. So if somebody is already uh, is out from the position, so as we said, there is n number of trades which are taking place every day, n number of trades. So one is buying, one is moving out. So this feature is good for some people, this feature might not be good for some feature. Why? Because you feel like if you hold on to a stock for the last day of the month until the maturity, then you're going to make profit, then you're going to really make profit. But if this option of daily settlement is available, then you're not going to make that profit. So it is from the point of view of certain people, may not be good from some set of people, may be good from some set of people. So it's not a risk, I would say. It's kind of a uh, it is kind of a feature which is there in the futures market. Hope it makes sense.
Okay, sir. So we should not include this in the risk, right? Uh, Better not to include this in a risk.
Yeah, you
Uh,
can say,
this,
that way. It is just
Mhm.
a feature. You say daily settlement is a risk. I don't think you can say it. You can't say it's a risk. It is better you
Okay,
say
sir.
this is a feature rather than saying it a risk.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so look at here now. So when you say the cash price is, futures contract example is given, which we have done in forwards also. Again, you can just take a look at this. I think the price will go down in the future, and I will make a loss if I hold on to asset, right? So this is the seller view, and I think the price of the rise will go up in future, and I will make a profit, right? So this is the buyer point of view, right? So this is the two different views should be there. That is when the trade takes place. Cash price of of the rise goes down, short sale of the future contracts. So in case of short sale, when can it be favorable? When you're short selling a futures contract, it would be favorable only when the price of the quantity goes down. So here the short sale is being done. Short sale means you're selling it today with a hope that you would be able to buy it at a lower price, right or wrong? When you're doing a short sale.
Yes, sir.
So what exactly is short sell? Can you explain?
Okay.
Short
Let us,
sale.
yeah, sure. Short sale is like this. Let's take it in an example form so that you can understand it fully. Give me a second. Like today, you do a short sale. This example that we talked here is about the buy. So when I say short sale, you are actually doing short. Okay.
So it means we are selling the stock, right?
Yes. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Futures contract. Same. I'm taking the same example, and it is 207 now, and the spot price is ITC. It is your 205. Short May future ITC. Okay, so what you're doing, you're shorting this contract at 207. So you're selling at 207. Now, your analysis and your understanding about this particular contract is this 207, which is the current, as in which is the current value of the contract, current price of the contract is 207, right? And this is going down in a month's time. So it will become 180, right? So you sell it today, and when it becomes 180, you buy it.
Okay.
So with that, you would be able to make a profit of how much? 207 minus 180. 27 rupees profit is yours by doing this transaction. But it all depends if this trade moves in your favor only. Then only short selling is going to help you. All right, this short selling that you're doing, it's a risky one because if it does not turn out to be a good decision, then you're going to lose huge, huge loss you're going to incur here, and so that is how this is there. So, and there is an unlimited loss can be there. Unlimited loss can be there when you're doing a short selling, because if this goes to 318, right, which can happen when stock moving up, stock price moving up, it can be the other way around also. If it does not move down, stock does not go down, then this price can, if it is just going up and up and up, then you sold it at 207 sell price, 207, right? But if it goes to 318, that means there is a loss. So that loss can be unlimited in case of short sale. So that is the challenge which your short sale transactions have. So to be when you sell short sale looks to be very fancy transaction, fancy thing, but it's a very risky trade, because one who are doing short selling, they very well understand market, and they also understand the pros and cons of doing short sale. So in case long position, uh, in case of a long position, you have an option to hold your position, to take a position if you have enough money, like in case of this example that we discuss here. When you're taking a position in your ITC stock, right? In case assume you don't make profit, you bought it at 207, right? And the share price becomes so by the end of the month, the contract comes to a value of 190. So technically you have made a loss, right? You made a loss, but you think this is a short-term phenomena wherein this loss will be recovered very soon. So better to not book loss, but to take a physical delivery of the contract, and that way maybe another month or two, you would be able to recover your loss. At the same time, this price will move up, and thereby you would be able to make profit also later. So rather than booking the loss in the first place, you can buy the initial agreement that you signed with the seller, and you can sell it when this price goes beyond 207 later, because you've taken the physical delivery in case of long. But in case of short, the physical delivery option would not be there. You will have to book the loss. And up, then that means you will have to book the loss. You're not going to cannot take position here, right? Because there is no such option of taking this position or getting it physical settled. Right, Aram? Short is clear. How we are,
So only
why
sir,
we are,
only sir, buyers take long, the buyers take positions and not the sellers.
yes, seller can't take. Seller, because if you say you're going to hold, because you're going to sell it, right? You need to sell it. You're not
Okay.
going to buy it. So the buyers can take a position. They can take it. They can take it. But if you look at from the seller's point of view, they don't have an option. They're going to hand it over. You are going to hand
Okay.
it over to the buyers because you have the position. This is a fundamental assumption. Maybe you don't have, because here we are assuming the seller is not having. Seller is just doing a speculation. This is how the market is going to behave, and therefore I can earn profit. I can make profit. This is the fundamental assumption or analysis or whatever you can call it is made by the trader. But if it turns out to be wrong, if it turns